Hey everyone, Jeff Sire from the Practical Drummer here. Last time I showed you the last 8-measure drum solo of The Eyes of a Stranger by Queensryche from the late 80s. And I love this tune because there's another section in the middle that's kind of cool that I want to show you. It's very simple again, just like the drum solo was simple rhythmically. It's just kind of training your body to hit on the various different parts of the beats and stuff. So go back and check that video out. But there's a groove which is very cool on the, where Scott Rockenfield uses the ands. So he uses the and of the bell. So if I play a quarter note, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and, okay? So that's the gist of the groove. Okay, so he's playing the ands with the right hand on the bell. I'm playing the left foot on the quarter note just for an added challenge. And then the snare drum is on 2 and 4. There's no real ghost notes there from what I can ascertain. So it's just a heavy backbeat on 2 and 4. And so the bass drum line is really it's the duh of 4 and the and of 1. So he starts on 1. I'm going to show you the fill preceding this groove, but this is around the drum solo. So there's a verse, a chorus, and then this kind of interesting bridge-like verse into a chorus. And at the end of that chorus, Jeff Tate sings, "Afraid to know what lies behind the stare." And then there's a 1-measure rest for the drums. And then Scott Rockenfield plays a polyrhythmic drum fill, which is 1 and 2 and 3, along with what Jeff Tate is singing again. Afraid to know what lies behind the stare. What lies behind that stare, you know. So there's 5 hits to that one. It starts in the and of 1, 1 and 2, E and a 3, E and a 4, E and. So I have 4 drums here, but I have one on the left here, a timbale. I'm going to use that because there's 5 hits. So I'm going to use 5 drums. Basically, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so a little up to speed. Afraid to know what lies behind the stair. 1, 2, 3, 4. He goes into that groove that I just that I'm teaching you. So that drum fill, so it starts in the and of 1, and it follows the 4/3 or dotted 8th note polyrhythm. Okay, so 1 and 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and. He actually goes and at the end. Okay, but then they get into that groove, the upbeat. So you've got to go from this and. Okay, so he does crash on 1, and then 1 and, okay? So then he gets into a double hand-to-hand 16th note beat on the hi-hat, which I'm not going to show you, but it's very cool. He adds a different bass drum line, which is a little bit syncopated in that one. But I want to focus on this and. So basically, I already told you what's going on with the limbs. The right foot, though, is playing after the initial crash on 1. It doesn't hit the 1s at all. It's syncopated. It hits the duh of 4 and the and of 1 in the first 3 measures. And then the 4th measure, he extends it from, he also does the, instead of the duh of 4 and the end of 1, he also does the duh of 2 and the end of 3, right? So that sounds like this. So I'm going to just go slow. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, and 2. And 2, and 3, and 4. hear the duh, right? 4 E and duh, 1 E and so it's with the and 2, right? So you got to kind of break this down. It's tough to do it really, really slow, but that's what you need to do to train your brain. But once you get it, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Okay? So I'm going to put all of that together. So remember, the first three measures, just the duh of 4 on the bass drum and the and of 1. But then he does the duh of 2 and the and of 3 in that fourth measure. Okay, so there's more bass drums in that last measure, which makes it sound kind of cool. And he does that for 8 measures. So he does it that 4-measure thing twice, but at the end he does a little drum fill when he goes to transition into that 16th note pattern on the hi-hat. But here it is. I'm going to play it up to speed, and here we go. Afraid to know what lies behind the stairs. 3, 4. Okay, as I said, he does a fill in that last measure, but I just wanted to show you that groove again so that you can kind of get it into your body. You see at the end, the fourth measure, there's more bass drums because instead of just the duh of 4 and the and of 1, in that last measure, he also does the duh of 2 and the and of 3, right? So then it goes into the 16 notes. Right? And so listen to that song, listen to that breakdown. The fill is really cool. I love how that 1-measure fill comes in with the vocals. It's pretty dark and it's tight. And that's what I love about this kind of polyrhythmic drumming. It's tight and it fits over. It's not just a regular fill, you know, it's a polyrhythmic fill, so it sounds cooler. So check that section out in the song and practice it. Post a comment. I'd love to hear how it goes for you. Take care.